This is part 4 proof of God labeling the Native Americans as offsprings of the Nephilims in Noah's time, giants, the hybrids, and how the Lord truly feels about them. As you know, this topic has been heavy on my mind because it's not an easy revelation to give. I'm sure like many of you, I have a lot of questions. And the one that stood out the most was, Lord, I've known quite a few people in my life, and they were mixed with native blood. And there are many celebrities with native blood as well. Do they get saved? Are they covered by the blood of lamb? The Lord replied, He always has a plan. What does that even mean? Then he showed me droid, meaning bot, and laughed. He called the hybrids bots. I'll get more in depth with that in part 5. So it was the morning and I wasn't at my most alert. The Lord suggested coffee. Then we just me, meaning gossip. Just like previously when he said he is the hunter of the Nephilim. Short for Flintstone, the caveman family. And I wasn't sure if droid was definitely the Lord referring to the Native Americans or the Nephilim blood. He said bot. To affirm that he did call them bots. Then he showed me the Mexican native dance of devil worshippers online. So after I got home, I did some research. It was still bothering me. I decided to go out for a drive because obviously I didn't get much enlightenment on this topic, on this question of mine during the day. God immediately showed me filthy, calling them filthy. The poet, the divine poet, confirmed that it was him calling them filthy. Ghazali meaning graceful, beautiful poet. The Lord calls himself the divine poet quite often. He creates history and this is his story. The world is our building. Again, red devils. It's the kitty's jab. The Lord said these skinks, meaning these fools, love to accelerate from behind. Za means from behind. And Native Americans are known to use tactics like guerrilla warfare and ambushes, often attacking from unexpected positions, including the rear, approaching quietly to strike before the enemy realizes they are there. And now, if you're curious, like I was, God is talking about all the natives, including the ones in South America, Mayan, Inca, etc. They all loved human sacrifice. And Guatemala food trucks. Sultan, meaning the sovereign ruler, affirmed this message again. So what I don't understand is a lot of people have sex with them and they procreate. Are they nasty too? Are they trash too? He said yes, bro. And because of how shocked and not fully convinced I was, the Lord shook his head. He even responded that because of the king's divine rubbish removal, now everyone enjoys Thanksgiving. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when kids get into cars and can't get out. It was God hinting that Nephilim offsprings won't get out because of who their human parents chose to have sex with. Too corny, the Lord mocked. Who else is known to grow corn? the natives. God meant literal corns, not sentiment. I know this sounds crazy, but you'll see for yourself what God said in the end of this video. While still in disbelief and trying my best to absorb this information, this overwhelming evidence from the Lord, I decided to park by his church. The moment I got to the block, he said, "Be fearless," and post. I sat in the car and started looking through a list of celebrities with native ancestry. The Lord immediately passed by with "Bah," twice, an expression of disgust and disapproval. I said, "Lord, I need to think about this. I need some time. This is a lot to take in. I need to reason a little." He said, "Don't even think about it." Força Juve, meaning come on, go.
I said, right? So once you have that blood in you, the Nephilim blood, even 1%, it's over for you. El Toxico. Really? It's that serious? Oh my God.
The kingdom of heaven is exclusive to his intended creation only. No corrupt offsprings of those fallen angels can enter. He passed by with Kamal, meaning completeness and perfection.
This is after he said Kamal, which means completeness.
Human beings created in God's image reflect the same wholeness. In the Trinity, we see the ultimate expression of unity and perfection. In the name of God, the gracious, the most merciful. The Nephilims built the pyramids, giants with monstrous strength and knowledge, shaping stones human couldn't. These huge structures aren't just tombs. They show defiance, a rebellion against God, defying his limits and order.
I said, I don't know, Lord. This is a little too wild for me. Right? I usually can take stuff, but this is a little intense.
The Lord laughed and called me a dick for needing more time to digest all of this. Because I understood him. He called me Ming, meaning, I guess, smart in Chinese. It's the Halloween festival because when these hybrids die, their spirits linger on earth as demons and ghosts, forbidden in heaven. And just when I was almost home, God sealed the message and left me with zero doubt.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done, guys. Be serious. If you have any of that Indian Native American blood, indigenous blood, you are done. It's not going to save you.
The Lord said, yeah, it's a museum of sex. All right, that's it for today. I'll have to make a part 5. And then the Lord showed me this on my FYP.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Africans. I hope you're faring well where you are. Well, they say that the truth is stranger than fiction. I don't know how much you know how that true is, right? So, it is believed that Nephilims were some kind of giants that once lived on the face of this earth. And they pissed off God by committing such regretful acts, right? And God himself, with his greatness and power, he looked down on earth and he saw that what man was doing was so bad that the Bible itself says that God regretted making man. He regretted creating man on earth because of the things that man was doing together with the Nephilims. Well, it turns out that there's a theory that those Nephilims did not drown in the Noah's rain or the Noah's flood, but instead, some of them are still alive today and they might be living in the United States of America and some parts of Asia. A very mind-blowing theory. Let's listen to this sister. I shall get back with a deeper, critical analysis.
This is part 5 of God labeling the Native Americans as nephilims. The indigenous people of the Americas are giants' offsprings, remnants of the giants in Noah's time. And what God thinks of people claiming Elvis Presley has native DNA. Last night, after recording part 4, I was feeling a bit sad that Satan has a hold on my Jewish friend who loves immorality and denies the Lord. And this is what God said.
Oh my God, Lord. Yeah, I know. I'm sad today because I can't save my Jewish friend. And these Nephilims, you know, I have Nephilim friends.
Cook them, because even the chosen seeds will not escape God's judgment, let alone the seeds of fallen angels. I know it sounds crazy. I've just been repeating everything the Lord has been revealing to me about this topic. These are not my opinions. The last night while I was posting part 4, the Lord said, surprise! Look, the famous false prophet, Satan's dessert. He already did a video about you. That was quick, I said. Oh Lord, please protect me. I don't know what you have planned for me, but I trust you, so come what may. So this morning I woke up and the Lord said, good girl, you're Pop's meanie for posting exactly what he told me. But he is mad that I keep ignoring the Mexican Aztecs, because God showed me this several times this week. And I wasn't sure if any of my Mexican friends on here have the native DNA in them or just strictly European. And in my previous video I only mentioned Maya and Inca. God confirmed, yep, you saved the stock, now share it. Don't be a dark pearl, gatekeeper of the kingdom of heavens. True story. If God instructs you to share something, it's meant for others to receive in its entirety, to the max. And I said to the Lord, I know you know my thoughts better than I do. And I feel like a contradictor and a liar, because you said anyone with even 1% of Nephilim DNA is considered filthy to you and they're not your child. But I remember last year you made me do a video about Elvis Presley, who I adore. You said you took care of him after he passed. But the internet is saying he had a Native American grandmother. And that's why I've been having doubts about this. God immediately sent a notification to my phone. You are putting dog in dog piling. And then he showed me eats, couch, and said it's racism at the same time. Meaning it's a rumor created by people who binge eat and stay on couches all day. Gossip and rumor brewed out of racism. So thanks for clarifying, Lord. Then the Father proceeded to show me God has willed this from the ages. And the Messiah is God, one and only. What he planned long ago is still unfolding through us today. His will spans every age, and you are standing right in the middle of it. His plan didn't start with you, it stretches back into eternity. Before humans existed, before dark angels fell, before nations rose, his will was already set. Not Nephilim, not wars, not kingdom, not even the false prophets spreading satanic narratives, pocketing off lost sheep on social media will change the Lord's will, the Lord's history. Don't worry, God said. Leave the rest to us. Then the Lord pointed at Nephilims like Miguel, the singer wearing the devil's mask, whose black and half Mexican side is from Michoacan, a region with a significant indigenous population. Even though the internet doesn't say he has native ancestry, God knows. God used the word spider to expose him. Satanists like Miguel is used for deception and entrapment. A spider weaves a web designed to trap and consume. Then I started looking through a list of celebrities with native ancestry to ask God about. And when I got to Beyonce has. And even called her an imposter again. The Nephilim were exilos, spiritually barren and lifeless, and their presence spread devastation across the earth like a treeless wilderness. But they were also a kiss, piercing humanity with violence and oppression like thorns that wound and torment. God said to provide all the details, so here it is. The prince told me not to be distracted by the noise of the wicked, and he signed it with Notebek, meaning rarest master, precious lord. Romantics never die conveys the idea that true love, passion, and the pursuit of beauty are eternal, transcending age, hardship, and even mortality. It's not like betrayal as with the fallen angels who rebelled and betrayed God, bringing death to all their offsprings.
God is the supreme ruler over the nation. He owns the land, directs its power, and provides the tools. Vigilant American black rifles, annihilating American atomic power, and the majestic American eagle of authority, so that his people may be protected under his watchful hand.
Don't question or go against God's will story.
Think I feel good about this? I mean, look, I'm not going to question him. I'm just going to understand him more, play the chess. Play it right. Like, I'm just going to understand him more, not challenge him.
Enjoy the journey. Sira means path or journey. The Lord is perfect, all-knowing, and just in all his ways. We are just the chess pieces on his board, moving according to his design. Every step, every challenge, every triumph is part of his plan. Pour your heart into your prayer, giving it your full faith and trusting God to handle the rest. Naya means God has answered all my doubts and questions on this topic, and now go and post it today. Be noble. Don't be like Beyonce and all the other imposters. This is part 21, proof of God exposing all the native people of the Americas and Mongolians as Nephilim, the result of fallen angels and human women mating. Blackfin polar bear regions, God said, referring to Siberians. Both Native Americans and Mongols trace part of their ancestry back to ancient Siberians. Native Americans descended from Siberians who migrated across Bering into the Americas, while Mongols descend from later East Asia and Southern Siberian groups. So far, God mentioned all modern Siberian DNA found in Mongolia, northern China, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tibet, Uyghurs, Finland, Turkmenistan, and the latest addition, Ukraine. These are the countries affected by the Mongols' Neanderthal leader, Genghis Khan's conquest. The Mongol conquest of large parts of Asia and Europe in the 1200s happened when Mongol armies defeated existing kingdoms and ruled them. Not all Ukrainians carry their DNA, just some. God provided more than 21 parts of proof for this revelation, but he knows I believe, yet I'm still chewing this information.
Yeah, it's really hard to chew. Chewy. It's hard to chew. What is that? My baba. This Nephilim topic, I believe it. Like, it makes sense. Everything you told me makes sense. But it's hard to chew. Really hard to chew.
It makes me extremely uncomfortable whenever I reflect on it. But I still have to continue to speak for him. So from the 1600s through the 1800s, Native Americans and enslaved Africans were often displaced or confined together under colonial systems, which led to intermarriage and the formation of hybrid ancestry communities. So far, God has mentioned the following famous hybrids to me: Beyonce, Zoe Saldana, Kyrie Irving, Michael Jackson. That's a hard one for me to chew, for sure, because I love MJ. Continue. Chris Brown, Pharrell Williams, Sierra, Megan Fox. Megan Fox, yes. Meghan Markle and her kids. The wrestler Ryan Garcia.
I'm Apache Indian.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Really?
You're Indian?
Which band?
Native American. Shit.
Which band?
Not sure my mom, but no.
White Mountain or?
Isa Gonzalez.
This sort of, when I would ask people, where are you from?
Yeah.
They'd be like, yeah, I'm American, Italian, Spanish, with a quarter Cherokee. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
God, yeah.
Edward Norton. A shocker, because I love Edward Norton. And my friend met him a decade ago at J. Crew. He was so nice. And we have Angelina Jolie, Fergie, Takeshi 69, Matthew McConaughey's wife and kids, and also Kylie Jenner's kids, because of Travis Scott. He is a Nephilim. God said, more than half of the world has Nephilim DNA, which means they are all... There's a lot of them, right? More than half. Not just half. Look. Which means they are all cursed. Shocking. I asked the Father why. Why? Because they do not know? No one knows. I didn't even know until he told me back in November of 2025. The Lord simply answered, read the damn books. Read the words God has left for us. The burden is on the seeker to read, discern, and live it, not wait for revelation to be handed to them. And the Lord got mad at me a week ago because I defended one. It all started when my car's check engine light came on and my friend suggested a new mechanic for me. I thought I would wait a day or two, but the Lord said safety first. He insisted that I go and get it checked. So I went. That's when God said, Hadri, get ready to seek answers. It was an Italian-owned car shop, but one of the employees helped me, and he was definitely an indigenous South American. Super nice. He didn't even charge me because he said it was only a system glitch. I didn't even need any work done, just a reset. So I tipped him and drove away. Drove away saying, damn, I feel bad. He was so nice. The Lord interjected and reminded me that he is Heat King, noble equipment. His creation, hell, is a noble equipment. That is how he will handle traitors, offspring. Look, I felt bad, but the Lord once again told me to just trust him. He said, remember, they are aliens. Aliens are demons. According to Book of Enoch, the Nephilim were the offspring of fallen angels and humans. And after dying, their spirits became harmful spirits, what later traditions called demons. God confirmed again with Anunnaki. In the Book of Enoch, the Anunnaki are described as fallen angels, extraterrestrials, demons, or creators of the Nephilim. There's a lot more proof from God, but I'll have to make more parts.
Okay, I just found out that, did you know, some people think the reason the Native Americans say how, it's how many fingers are on your hand. Because if you had 6 fingers, which many ancient cultures talked all about, a race of beings that had 6 fingers that was like descendants of Nephilim, the giants. So they would say, how many fingers are you holding up? How many fingers you got on your hand? And if you had 6, you were this hybrid species that they didn't want anything to do with because you were related to the giants. You can go to a native tribe in British Columbia, Washington, Oregon right now. Ask them. Ask a elder, what do they think about giants? This isn't some like allegory in their folklore. Ask them about Bigfoot too. That's not a joke. Now the crazy part is, why would so many cultures around the world all have mythical tales about giants if it's just a myth and it's fake? Like, dude, they have giants in Afghanistan. You remember the Afghan giant, the story of the Afghan giant? Of course, it's just a story, but how many stories you got to hear before you start wondering what the Sam Dam's going on? Also, I'm pretty sure there's a pretty ancient book that talks about giants during the time of, well, the time of Noah, afterwards, after the flood. Why did every ancient culture talk about the flood too? Like, there was a flood. There's clams on top of freaking Mount Everest that are closed. Why is there a fossilized boot, a fossilized foot in a boot in a museum in like Virginia that is from the 1950s? Fossils form faster than we can fathom. If they get compressed quickly and sediment lands on them and the conditions are right, they fossilize. But you're saying dinosaur bones are millions, hundreds of millions of years old. Says who? Carbon dating? You might want to look at the other side of the fence on carbon dating, because there's a lot of people who think there's something to it that may be tomfoolery-ish. Same with radiological dating. I do find it interesting, though, that it all connects, man. Like, at first it was Devil's Tower is an ancient tree, woo! Now it's like, whoa, why'd they cut them down? Whoa! Because in the book of Enoch it says they cut them down because the giants were going to climb the trees to survive the flood. And that's why one of the reasons that the earth was flooded is to get rid of the Nephilim, the giants. Shocking, man. Like, history. Dude, how much history is his story? And how much do they, if they can control the history of what we are aware of history, they can control the present and basically the future, because we have no clue. Like, we have amnesia. We don't even know what's going on. How? How many fingers do you have? Is that shocking or what? Ask an elder about that one too. I'm curious. Also, the Hopi tribe had a pretty interesting prophecy. Near the day of purification, cobwebs will be spun back and forth in the sky. Now, right now, it's not too cobwebby. In fact, not too cobwebby at all. Or maybe so cobwebby that you can't even see the cobwebs. But you know what I'm talking about. I've been seeing Spider-Man in the frickin' sky, man. Okay, touch more in part.
Well, that's what they got to say. And I'm just a commentator. I'll just have to give my reaction and my critical analysis based on what's said, right? But also, I have my own opinions and I have the rights to them, right? I am here to tell you something. You see, the whole story starts when God creates man. He places man on earth, right? And man disobeys God. You see, Adam and Eve, they disobeyed God by eating from the forbidden fruit, and so they are cast out of heaven. That still did not piss off God as much as the people during the times of Noah, right? So after that, Cain kills Abel. That's the first murder case, right? After that, God puts a mark on Cain, and he says that whoever kills Cain will also suffer the same. You see, and whoever kills that person who has killed Cain will also suffer. So it's a chain. You see, God in himself is beautiful. He is good. He is kind, and he is also just. God is a just God. You see, he wanted Cain to pay for his sins. At the same time, he was giving Cain a chance to redeem himself by placing a mark on him that would protect him, and also that would protect and identify at the same time. What a paradox. Let's cut away from Cain and Abel. Let's move to the times of Noah. So there's Seth, Cain, Abel. Let's remove Abel. He's dead. His lineage does not continue. It's wiped off by his brother. So Seth, Cain, Adam and Eve also had other children, right? And so years come, years go. Adam lives up to 930 years. We have Methuselah, we have Enoch, and now we have someone called Noah who comes to the picture during those times when Earth was still not populated or overpopulated, if I say so. And so God puts another commandment that heavenly beings should not have interaction with earthly beings. When I say earthly beings, I mean men. When I say men, I mean humans, right? But some defiant angels who were supposed to be guarding some heavenly sector did not listen to this command. Instead, they looked down and they saw the daughters of men, and they saw that the daughters of men were really beautiful. You know, God is an artist. When he makes them beautiful, right? So the angels also were persuaded by the beauty of these women, and they decided to get down and, interact with them. They did not just get down from heaven. They brought with them the heavenly secrets, Do you know what these heavenly secrets are? These heavenly secrets are cosmic knowledge, forbidden knowledge. Some of these knowledge are knowledges of witchcraft, the knowledge of the art of war, the knowledge of science, the knowledge of mythology, right? These creatures, they came and they slept. They had sex with these earthly human beings, and they gave birth to children, a crossbreed. But something was abnormal with these children. These children would not stop growing. Their growth did not stop. You see, for a normal human being, we have the somatic cells and we have the gonad cells, right? So there is a stage where the somatic cells and the gonad cells stop multiplying. You see, it's a rule that's written in each individual's DNA. You reach a certain level, you stop. You stop, and now you start aging. For the Nephilims, they didn't have that code. People would grow like giants, big human beings, So they would grow and become big. Once they became big, they started terrifying people. They started doing bad things to human beings, They'd terrorize people around. They'll also fight one another, by the way, and hurt one another, But these people were half human beings, half angels, So their fathers also brought with them some forbidden knowledge. They taught man how to kill. They taught man sorcery. They taught man science, They would crossbreed animals with different forms. They would crossbreed a monkey and a donkey. They would crossbreed a human being and a pig. You see, even if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphics, you will see that one of the signs of the hieroglyphics, because hieroglyphics is the using of animal symbol to denote a certain concept, right? You will find that there is some characters that are like half man, half horse, right? These are not things which are from nowhere. These are things which existed. They borrowed them from reality. And maybe, perhaps, not just borrowing, they saw it, right? So the Nephilims were half man, half angels. So when people were drowning, they possibly never drowned. That's my opinion. I told you I have a right to my opinion, right? So before you banish me, understand that. So they didn't die, and instead, they what? They camouflaged, they became things that they were not. Okay, let's say a newborn is born and they inject themselves into that new creature. You see, they wait for the time when a cell is forming an embryo, and then they would inject themselves in that embryo and become a fully human being. You see? And that's how we have the Mongolians. That's how we have the Red Indians of America. Yeah, according to the sister, that's true. But the story of Nephilim is a true story. They said that they may have been the Mongolians and the Chinese and those Red Indians. That part I'm not in agreement with, because I'm not sure. I don't know. Right? Maybe you might know. I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Share your thoughts down below. I'd really love to hear from you. See you in the next one, and stay positive.